What's up guys, video information here. So this is going to be video number 1 of the series, getting to know our CEOs. I'm going to just be covering some basic info about them, the positions that they hold, their education, and maybe some other information. This one today is mainly going to be him answering questions in the end, and that will help you to better get to know this specific CEO. Now if you already know who this is, then congrats. If you don't, it is Strauss Zelnick, Take-Two Interactive CEO. His real name is Harry Strauss Zelnick. He was born January 26, 1957, meaning he's 62, and Boston, Massachusetts was his birth city. My birth city was Brockton, Massachusetts, so I feel like I know him already. Married to Wendy Bellsberg since January 1990. They have 3 children. So the positions held. I'm only going to name the ones that he still currently has, even though I wrote held, so positions that he has right now. He's had many positions in the past. At 32, he was named the COO of 20th Century Fox, which is extremely impressive. Even in the article, it said he was very young to get that. But anyways, independent non-executive director at Star Wars Property Trust, Inc. since 2009. CEO, as you guys know, of Take-Two Interactive since 2011. Co-founder at Zelnick Media, yes, his last name Media, since 2010. Advisor at Thrive Capital Management, LLC. If you don't know what LLC stands for, it's Limited Liability Company. And I don't have a year for that, but he's just an advisor at it, so I don't think the year really matters as much anyways. Chairman at CBS Corp. since 2018, so that's a very new one. Naylor Publications, Inc. He was a director there since 2011. And the other new one, trustee at the Pele Center for Media since 2018. So some education, a BA from Wesleyan University, a Master's of Business Administration, MBA from Harvard Business School, and a JD, a Juris Doctor from Harvard Law School. So this guy is not playing. He does have some pretty good degrees. He recently wrote a book I got this information from. It was January 8th, 2019, so I'm guessing it was 2018. But anyways, the interviewers asked him some questions and he basically answered with the responses. So with the footnotes as well as my words, I'll go ahead and tell you his answers, and hopefully they allow you to better understand the kind of person that he is. I really like the kind of person that he is. I think he's a really cool guy. Question number 1, what is a habit/practice in your life you can't believe you ever operated without? And he brought up spiritual practice. Now question number 2 goes on to ask why, basically. You already know they got to extend the question as long as possible, but it was just why. And he goes, a way to establish every morning what he can influence and what he can't. So he wakes up knowing, all right, this is what I control, this is what I can't control. It is what it is, let me make do with what I can. If no sense of humility and proportion, then you just dive and try to make things happen. You just dive right into it, and all day you're just trying to make things happen, and you lose sight of reality. That's his big point with that. Next up was, you have a lot of consistency. Do you have a way to design the environment for your success? So are you able to change it each day? Like, what do you do to do that? And he talks about limited phone usage. He doesn't bring it to the gym and he doesn't bring it to meals unless they are absolute emergencies. Rather than typing things for like notes on his phone, he writes them down on paper, which I like to do as well. I can understand why he feels like that. My way might not work for anyone else, he says. However, you need to embrace your own style. You need to embrace your own style, but if the change is needed, then you got to make it. It's that simple in his eyes. Question number 4 was, when do you respond to email/text? He said as quickly as possible, which, kind of contradicts what he just said earlier, but he said, I'm fortunate to lead large organizations. CEOs don't do very much work. Real work doesn't take place in the CEO's office. Now, he's going into a quote here. Real work doesn't take place in the CEO's office. So if someone is communicating with me, it's usually relatively meaningful to them and requires a meaningful and thoughtful but relatively rapid response. I like how he words that there, and it shows that he really does give a crap about his workers. So as a CEO, you like to see that. Next up, number 5, you have, you were a COO at 20th Century Fox at 32. How has that changed you? I'm more willing to be myself. May not be to everyone's liking, but that's okay. Believe it or not, it helps you to be a more effective leader. I mean, he's effective with what he's doing, so he has some facts behind him. Question number 6 was, knowing what you want is the key to getting what you want. So why can't others just click like that? And he talks about how he basically, a quarter of his time, he's trying to motivate people. 1/4 of the time, he's trying to coach people. And the biggest thing he brings up is how, small as he can remember, he talks about how he wanted to run a movie studio. He ended up doing it quicker than he thought, so instead he ended up changing it to running/owning at least a significant piece of media conglomerate. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word right. I'll get it in my footnotes, but if you don't know what a conglomerate is, I'm going to put it in the footnotes anyways. Team has built past 18 years after having a bunch of jobs. So he's basically talking about how the past 18 years, him and his team have been dedicated towards just creating this conglomerate, which is clearly either Zelnick Media or Take-Two Interactive. I want to say it's Take-Two Interactive, but I didn't look too much into Zelnick Media. It could have a bunch of subsidiaries, not sure. Anyways, though, they've been through a bunch of jobs and they've been working on it for the last 18 years, which goes further on to a different point I'm going to mention. So he also wanted to be married, have kids, live on the Northeast. He wanted to have leisure time off. And he said it's not the perfect life, but he doesn't know what a perfect life is. He goes on to say, so it's as good of a life as he could ask for. But anyways, he talks about how you should paint a watercolor to where life will not be tomorrow or next year, but in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, which goes to that whole past 18 years, many different jobs. They were just building up whichever he was referring to. Basically, paint it so it's vague enough to maneuver, but specific enough so you can go into the direction. Don't make it so crazy to where, like, okay, you have to jump 5 steps tomorrow, but you can slowly take that step every day towards working towards whatever you're trying to do. A YouTube channel is a great way to think of it, or an investment. You're just slowly growing it. You're trying to get more views. You're trying to get more subscribers. You're putting in a little bit more hard work every day, or at least being consistent with it. So number 7 was, once you know what you want, how do you stay consistent on this path? Now, this is something a lot of different people have said in their own way, but I still like the way he says it. So he says, write down a list of your values, a description of who you really are. Check them regularly. For him, that's every few weeks. And change them accordingly if needed. Be brutally honest with yourself, something I have to do more often. You'll either adjust them, so change them, or you'll comply with them. So you'll either, okay, this is more my value, or all right, that's what I believe in. I have no choice. I have to do it. But anyways, that is actually it though, guys. If you enjoyed this video and you feel like you know Strauss Zelnick better, please let me know down in the comment section. And if you'd like more videos like this, also mention in the comment section, give me more or something like that. I would love to make more videos like this, but I gotta know that you guys are at least interested in it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feed You Information, out.